All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of Persuasion by the Pint. I'm Jonathan Taylor, along with
Sean McCool.
Sean
live.
Today, live, man.
On location. Well, not live, I guess. We're live.
We're live. We're alive, and that's always a good thing.
And we're on location.
So we're at the Blackberry Farms Brewing. We mentioned this on some previous episodes.
Yes,
and so we're finally here.
Yeah, we're here on location.
And
beautiful day. See the sun outside, the white fluffy clouds outside. It's been perfect here in East Tennessee after like 6 years of rain.
Yeah, I know.
We've had like, I think now 10 or 11 days of dry in a row. Like there's no in between.
I know. It's like feast, famine. Famine. So do you know what this place used to be prior to...
it looks like it used to be like a garage. A garage
of some sort.
Like a precision tune or something maybe.
Yeah, you can, if we... Well, I can't reach it.
We'll do some
turn
pictures
it around later. But the background that you're seeing here, it's like really cool. We got the barrels in the background, and it's kind of got that I don't know what you call it, the industrial feel.
Yeah.
So
and they started out, as a winery.
Yeah.
Blackberry Farms is like a resort for really well-off people, celebrities. Yeah. It's tucked up in the hills.
Yeah, we've been there a few times.
Yeah, every weekend take the families there.
Right. Yeah, they're private choppers.
Hang out with Reese Witherspoon and some other people, Matthew McConaughey, like they all go there.
That's right.
But it's out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
And this is right in town in Maryville. That's Maryville.
Maryville. Yeah, I've actually got some my sister-in-law, actually one of my sister-in-laws worked out there for a while, and she used to make some really killer tips. So it's
I bet.
Yeah.
But they started winery, then they started brewing a brewery, and they kind of teamed up with a brewery.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess they labeled it together. I'm not sure exactly what the story. Maybe we can get the story out of somebody here.
We'll drag somebody over here at some point and make them speak.
I'm really excited about what we have on the show today.
Yeah.
So I think this is a good spot for our teaser.
Okay. So before we begin, obviously, what do we have?
Let me do the teaser first.
Oh yeah, we got to do the teaser.
So we're going to talk today. One of the things I'm going to talk about is how to hire the world's best copywriters for less than $10.
For less than $10. We're not talking Fiverr here.
Yeah, this is not Fiverr or Upwork or anything like that. Easier, faster than that.
Yep.
I also call it my aisle 12 secret.
Okay, well, you're giving way too much away.
I'm just giving it away now? Okay.
You got to stop. You got no more talking.
Okay.
We'll leave the teaser at the $10, okay?
Okay.
And even...
I walked past the sale.
You gave him too much.
Talked right past the sale. Dang it.
But no, it's it's going to be a lot of fun today. So we'll leave it at that and get right into the beer.
All right.
So let's tease the beer.
So mine's half gone because I got here about 5 minutes before you did. And it's called Leather Britches. It's a robust porter.
Okay.
I'm not sure what makes it robust. To me, I'm not even sure it tastes like a porter to me.
It really doesn't. I thought it was just, when I first tasted it, it just seemed like a dark ale.
Yeah.
Not so much a porter.
Yeah,
so.
I agree.
It's not as good, but I just
it's definitely got more of a hoppy taste to it.
There's definitely some hop to it.
As opposed to some of the more liqueur almost finishes that we've had recently.
Yeah. That you could strain out with a...
Mm-hmm.
5-mesh filter or
plasma
something.
Beer. It's like actually that's not liquid. It's not solid. Right. It's somewhere in between.
But it's good. I mean, I like it.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to the next one that we have on the next episode. Will be the Saison, which is kind of what they're known for.
Okay.
And it's their classic Belgian style, so that'll be good too. But
cool.
They have right now. It's mostly I'm looking up at the board, lagers and ales. Because it is summertime, so it's getting harder and harder to find our beers.
Yeah. People
gravitate
towards that in the winter for some reason. Not us.
We're manly enough to drink it all year round.
Scotch in us coming out that we
drink
that year round.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so I don't know the APB or anything about this. I don't know the IBUs. I don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
So we'll just
say it's good.
We'll just say it's good. They have a really cool, I don't know where it is, but they have a cool, this is like their logo, and their different beers have just different colors.
Right.
but it's kind of a cool logo.
Yeah, we've featured some of their ales in the past.
Yeah.
On some past episodes, and I like them. I mean, it's wasn't anything special. I do like this, though, even though I wouldn't classify it. I have a hard time classifying it as a porter.
Definitely more of a dark ale to me.
It's good.
I'm sure a brewmaster would tell us different.
He would.
He would tell us why it's
we can get into an argument with the brewmaster here. That'd make some entertaining
It would.
podcast content.
Yeah.
So before we get into the topic, you actually have a little. We've been kind of teasing this, but we got an announcement because you're going to be here in a few weeks. We won't be doing this together live. We'll still be doing the podcast,
right?
But you'll be in a much bigger state with a lot more selections of beer.
Yeah, but unfortunately, it is an IPA town.
Yeah. Oh, dang it, man!
But I'll have to hunt down the porters and maybe mail order them in. I don't know. So, I'm moving to Austin, Texas.
Yep.
With the rest of the free world, apparently.
That's right. Everybody.
Everybody's moving to Austin. Something to do with the whole energy field there and crystals and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like there's a weird energy triangle that people talk about there. I don't know. Half of California moves there.
Yeah, I understand that it's like Silicon Valley South.
Yeah.
Becoming that way, at least.
That's what they're saying.
And you were out there years back, right? For a while? Or
we were going to go and we didn't.
That's right.
We were looking at going out there and we never pulled the trigger. But this time we are going on middle of June.
Yeah.
So middle of June 2019, we'll be heading, loading up the Penske truck and heading out. So we've been cutting and downsizing.
Oh, yeah. It's a challenge.
Our oldest is moving out. He's on his own. So
that's jettisoning a lot of weight right there.
Almost empty nester, not quite.
Yeah.
Daughter's going with us.
Daughter's going with you.
But we'll definitely be cutting down a little bit on size and stuff to make the move.
Right.
So, I'm excited about it. Going out there to work with a couple companies.
Yeah. A lot of connections out that way, I'm sure.
Fire the coaching company back up once I'm out there. So
that's
a lot
great.
of cool stuff happening for sure.
And don't worry, because this will not affect our podcast. We'll still be running.
No, we'll just be like two locations at once.
Two different locations. So Sean will be like, we'll have a split screen. Sean will be sitting out enjoying an IPA.
Hey, we got you're a brewer?
Yeah. Oh,
Pull
man.
up over here.
Pull up a chair.
We have a special guest. Didn't even know. Unannounced.
Yeah, you got to come in between us. Because you got to get some mic time.
All right.
So, I'm going to pull up. I'll just show you our podcast right quick. A lot of this we'll have it edited out. So
sure.
But yeah, we do a weekly podcast.
Oh, we'll ask you that on the
it's
show.
the Berliner Weiss.
It looks fruity,
right? It's our Berliner Weiss.
So this is our podcast we do on business, and we discuss craft beer. So we do like a weekly episode.
All right.
We get several. We get a few thousand downloads a month.
Oh, nice.
And it's growing steadily. So cool. It's a lot of fun. I think people like the content, the mix of business and beer.
Right.
So.
Right.
And we get to write off beer on
the
Oh, perfect. That's right. It's perfect.
That's the real goal here.
Right.
So tell us your name. I'm going to move this mic closer.
Sure. My name's Tim. Tim Moore. I'm one of the brewers here.
Okay. All right.
Been here since 2014, and we commissioned this brewery here in 2015.
Okay.
The other brewery is out at the farm. It's a small Sabco 10 barrel. I wish 10 gallon.
Right.
System. So it's a glorified homebrew system. That's what we started brewing on in 2011.
Okay.
The only beer we brewed at that time was a farmhouse ale in honor of sort of like Saison DuPont. It was our farm beer, and it used a similar strain of yeast. And that is our flagship today. It's called Classic, but we have branched out from farmhouse brewing, and we now brew pretty much any style that you can think of. We're brewing it. Except for maybe like super trendy, like pastry stouts and cloudy IPAs. We make beers that turn out cloudy, but we're not marketing them on the business side as New England anything. So,
yeah. Right.
We definitely are. We consider ourselves stewards of beer, and we want to brew true to style beers.
Absolutely.
And that's what we focus on.
So Sean and I were having the what is it? This is the leather
britches.
Oh yeah,
leather britches.
Yeah.
Very good. But I didn't realize. He said there's a porter. I'm like, really?
If you were to enter it into a competition, it would be in either the robust porter or just straight porter category.
Okay, all right. It was good.
Thank you.
I just didn't think it was a porter at first. I thought it was a really dark ale.
Nice.
So
Well, which is what a porter is.
Yeah.
It's a really dark ale.
What's the difference between? Is there a difference between porter and dark ale, or is it just?
I mean, I guess you could call any porter a dark ale, but the history of porters and stouts is complicated and long.
Yeah.
But porter supposedly came first, and as they got stronger, they would call them stout porters, and then they dropped the porter, and then there's variations through both of those too, and some complications in history and some unclear history all behind it. So if you want to spend a couple hours understanding one beer style, that's a good one to start with. Really.
That's what we drink the most of.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's porters and stouts.
Perfect.
Now, what is this you're having?
Imperial porters.
So this is a Berliner Weiss that we made some raspberry syrup for. So you can get it straight without any syrup, or you can add a splash of syrup, which is very traditional in Berlin. You can get like Woodruff or raspberry syrup, and it'll help make it a little less tart.
Okay.
It's a very sour. It's not like an American wild sour ale. It's more of it has a much more cleaner palate than that.
Yeah.
And it's usually low in alcohol. But Napoleon used to call it the Champagne of the North.
Ah, I see.
And it's really refreshing good summer beer.
So this was not the beer that caused his downfall, though. No.
It's not the one that sent him to Elba. So.
No. Okay. Just want to make sure.
No, he did not get any of this when he was in Elba. He drank wine, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So what's your role here?
We all wear a lot of hats. So I am typically, on my business card says brewer. I'm trying to get it changed to Master of Custodial Arts. None of my bosses care for that name at all. They think it's disrespectful, but it couldn't be more respectful of the industry and what I do.
Yeah.
Custodian means to take care of.
Yeah, right.
But to answer your question, there are 5 of us in the facility upstairs, and we all wear different hats. So we all do packaging, we all do work production. I do a little bit of the QA QC stuff. My boss does a lot of the not fun work for us, the paperwork and the administrative stuff. Plus, also he does a lot of work upstairs too. So we're just all wearing a lot of hats, being that we're small and nimble. And as we grow, roles get more defined.
Yeah.
But right now, it's pretty much everybody does everything.
So how big an area does the beer go out to now? Like what?
We have a really interesting distribution model. So we're trying to dig really deep in Tennessee. So we started to refocus our efforts in the state of Tennessee, specifically in Knoxville and Nashville. So I'd say the lion's share of our beer goes out to that market. We have a really nice relationship with a broker in New York who sends our beer out to 30-plus states in very small quantities. I'd say once a quarter he picks up beer, and the states that he distributes in, he makes it available to those states. And then we also have set up our own distribution in the surrounding states of Tennessee. So North, South Carolina, Florida, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, Kentucky.
Wow.
And so we control those states, and then the broker controls outside of those states.
Okay.
But more to the point, most of the beer goes to Tennessee.
Okay. And what's the plan going forward? Just slowly expand that to...
We have just gone through a rebrand. If you haven't noticed, all of the coasters, all of the beers in there, that is all brand new imaging that we
with
worked
the BFB,
really,
like that.
that
logo? That's a cool logo.
Yeah,
I was looking at the hats over there. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, and all of the barn quilt flag type stuff. That all speaks to kind of our roots. You know, our branding before wasn't so cohesive. It was kind of all over the map.
Yeah.
And so we did an exercise where we hired a really great company to come in and interview all of us and kind of get an understanding of who we thought we were, and they kind of distilled all that down and came back, and I think hit a home run with it. They used all of our interviews to come up with this imagery, and and branding, and so the plan going forward is to really focus on Tennessee.
Yeah.
To just be the best brewery in Tennessee that we can be, and reach Tennessee audience, and then what we can do outside of that as far as the surrounding states, we want to focus on that too. But our number one goal is to just be, if you're from Tennessee and you think beer, we all want you to think about Blackberry Farm.
Yeah.
And we want you to think
the Jack Daniels of beer.
Sure, I mean, I'll take that. Yeah, I mean, who wouldn't want that?
Yeah, I mean,
Well, I mean, when you're tied to Blackberry Farms, I mean, it's synonymous.
Right. I mean, it's not even. It's cool because we're not even tied. We just are. We are Blackberry Farm.
Right.
Like
Exactly.
We're the family owns. It's all one business. Yeah. So we're really proud to be a part of it, and great support from them, and some. I cannot tell you how great of an organization it is. My wife also works for Blackberry Farm. So we came out in 2014 as guests and met the founder of the brewery, Roy Milner, and just hit it off, and he started recruiting us, and that was in March, and by September he had convinced us both to move here. She's the executive chef in the main house, and
nice.
I'm one of the brewers.
Wow.
Yeah, so we knew no one out here, and they convinced us. So they got us to drink the Kool-Aid, and we love it. So
well, if you and your wife have a dinner party,
right,
I want to come.
Right, yeah,
absolutely.
Dude, her rice-a-roni is the best.
Yeah, right.
It's like that. Like I don't go home and brew beer. She doesn't cherish coming home and cooking.
Well, yeah, that's
we both do a fair amount of cooking ourselves, and she does love it when she does it. But
right, yeah, I can understand that.
We're not having a whole lot of dinner parties.
Yeah.
Kind of over it.
But if you do, all day,
exactly.
Sure.
Exactly. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you stopping in.
Yeah, thanks for coming into the brewery.
Yeah.
When you all wrap up, I mean, you're welcome to come upstairs. I'll show you around.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah,
we'll get some.
You take some pics.
We
sure will.
And we'll be having on our next segment. We'll be.
I'm gonna have to get one now.
We'll
edit.
We can pause.
Yeah, and I'll grab one of those Tennessee Yepa beers.
Okay. Sounds great.
Cheers, guys.
Hey, appreciate it. All right, so we're back. That was kind of a nice little
surprise.
Yeah.
Surprise visit. Drop-in guest.
Yeah, so we that was fun, and I guess we'll get into. So in the meantime, you've all of a sudden seen a couple of new ales appear.
If they're watching on video.
If they're watching on video.
If not, they can probably hear
it
come through.
Yeah. So what do we got here?
This is the classic that he was talking about.
Okay.
That I was talking about earlier. So, I got thirsty.
Okay.
So I just jumped to another one, but it's the classic Saison. It's a Belgian style.
All right.
And this is the first beer I ever had from Blackberry Farm. So
oh, okay.
I think it's really good. So,
all right.
When you finish your
your
dinner, you can have your dessert.
So let's talk about headlines.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
This is going to be fun. So you got some. Should we jump right into your tip?
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
So we kind of gave away what we're talking about. We're talking about headlines.
Yep.
And one of the things that I do as a copywriter to start looking for headlines, and this...
You hire a $10 copywriter.
I do. I hire some of the best copywriters in the world, and I do it for less than $10. Yeah. So the way I do that is I go to aisle 12 of the grocery store in my personal grocery store my local grocery store. Yeah. And I think it's on aisle 12. They have the magazine rack. Mm-hmm. And so what I do is I'll go through and I'll pick just like 4 completely... I may find something in the niche that I'm working on, but then I'll also find like 4 completely random...
Mm-hmm. That's interesting.
What are these called? Magazines.
Yeah.
That's what they're called. I've forgotten since they're going out of style. But these actually I get at the house. But at one time I had like 15 different magazine subscriptions that came to the house.
Wow.
Just for this purpose mainly.
So automatically my eyes gravitate to that bold, the really top one, 59 ways.
Yeah, so this is...
that's all I ever saw is 59 ways.
Right. And you'll notice most every magazine cover, so we'll go through some of the trips, but every magazine cover, so this is Men's Health, it's got 23 ways to...
Look like Captain America.
Right. 59 ways to... And that's a totally different Men's Journal and Sunset, which is a travel magazine. Mm-hmm. And then there's 1,689 best resorts, hikes, blah, 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 blah. 7 architectural wonders, 4 family-friendly farm tours. and then 5 weighs 2. So 3 out of the 4 magazines have the phrase number weighs 2. So that's it. And these covers are written by some of the best copywriters in the world because they have, especially the ones that you find on the newsstands, because they're actually different than the ones you get if you subscribe.
Right.
They put different covers for different places, different regions. So they've done their testing, and they kind of know what works on the newsstand versus... So if you think of, let's say you're doing a Facebook ad or you're doing an Instagram ad or a billboard or something in the mail, that's very much like a grocery store checkout line. Like it's an impulse decision, it's an interruption.
Right.
So what they've done is they've looked at those, what's required to get that, and it's these, the ones that they usually lead with. These are usually the biggest ones, or the blank number of ways to do something.
Fill in the blank,
right? So that's one of the big things that I use when I'm doing headlines. We can go into some of those in a minute.
Wonder why. I mean, let's maybe an explanation as to why numbers always work on headlines. I think, I don't know, from a standpoint, I guess from the way I look at it, people are looking for specifics. There's a lot of information out there.
Right.
So when you can narrow that down into, simple tips, within 7, I always gravitate to bullet points. We talked about this in some past episodes, but people like summaries, give me the summary of what I need to know. So
if I look at these and I was like, if I was going to pick one of these to buy off of, 59, we'll just do the one magazine. So 59 ways to escape, indulge, and unwind, or best spas in the West, kitchen and bath makeovers. Like those are still like kitchen and bath makeovers. I don't really know what to expect. I mean, it's kind of general still. Yeah. Whereas 59 ways to escape, like you said, it's much more specific. Yeah. Even though 59, there's probably a lot more ways to escape than there is kitchen and bath makeover examples. There's probably only like 3 in here if I were to look in the article. Right. So, if they had said 3 kitchen and bath makeovers that surprise, or that to something on a budget, like 3 kitchen and bath makeovers you can do on any budget, right? Like now
that would have made the
now I'm more curious, I don't think you want numbers on every single one, no, because then it gets a little too much. And the same thing here, like 23 ways to make everything taste better. Or refresh your spring look. Yeah. Again, the number just makes it more specific. Absolutely. It catches your eye more. Now this one's pretty strong. This was Mindful magazine, and it is.
What does that say? Release,
find calm in the chaos, release tension, and discover a new kind of peace.
5 ways to cultivate courage,
and then make friends with fear. 5 ways to cultivate courage. Yeah. This is a really strong. The find calm in the chaos. Yeah. First of all, it's got 2 hard C's, which seems to always work. It's like Coca-Cola. Right. But calm in the chaos, that's a good transition, juxtaposition between 2 terms. Yep. Like here's calm, here's chaos.
That sounds similar.
It's 2 things that don't go together. We've talked about that before. So that's a really strong, that's actually, to me, better than 5 ways to cultivate courage. Like cultivate feels like a big word that they just were looking for a C word. Yeah. I probably would have used a different way. Cultivate feels a little smart.
Yeah. It's not very. To me, it's not strong. It's not a strong word.
It's. But then again, they're readers. Mindful. It's more of a softer crowd.
Right. That's
so
true.
It could be really good for their market. Yeah. So that's another thing. Like, does your word choice fit the demographic of your market? So this is probably mostly women readers. It's mostly very, soft, calm. People are searching for calm, so cultivate's much softer than, say, unlock. Yeah. Like unlock feels aggressive, things like that. So, like I said, these are the best copywriters in the world, so you don't want to overthink what they're doing, but you want to model what they're doing.
That's a great tip on just pulling that from, going just to your magazine rack.
Yeah, and there's another thing. So people have talked about that, and there's a little trick that I do that goes beyond that. And by the way, what I'll do is when I get these, I'll go through and I'll read these, but then instead of saving the whole magazine,
You'll rip
the top page off, and then I also take the table of contents because there's actually the table of contents have really good subheads.
Yeah.
And opening sentences. So one of the hardest things to write in copy is that opening sentence that just really grabs you. So like if you look, mindfulness in action, grassroots activist Shelley, whatever her name is, mindfulness practices developed from free meditations on the Florida beach to taking mindfulness to the heart of trauma, helping the families of Parkland cope with unimaginable loss. So it's a story opening.
Sure.
It's got some good kind of emotion pull to it. But if you'll go through these or some of the other subheads in the table of contents, there's also some really good ideas there. So it's not just the cover.
Right.
Like this one's called Brain Science, Why Is It So Hard to Apologize? And then the kind of the subhead under that is, I'm sorry, those two little words can be so hard to say. Research reveals why we struggle to apologize.
Interesting.
Now I'm getting into like the meat, that's a little curiosity.
Yeah.
And that's usually what you'll find in the...
Why is always a curious word. People.
Yeah. But you'll find that they use more curiosity in the table of contents to get you to start flipping through the magazine. So these are to get you to buy on the front.
Yeah.
And then these are to get you to kind of dive in and consume the content so that you'll stumble across the ads that are in there, because that's the real purpose of the magazine. Is sell the ads, right? So that's the secret. So when I get ready to throw these away, I'll take the cover and then the 2 or 3 pages of tables of contents, rip the cover off, staple it together, and throw it in a file cabinet. And
and
if you're really fancy, you could scan them, I guess.
That's the advantage of buying the magazine. Some people say, I could take my camera or my phone and snap pictures of the cover, but you don't have that, that's kind of part of your swipe file, putting that in there, you've got that you can reference back to.
Yeah, and when I get stuck, I just pull out that file, and it does not take long. So we'll talk about yours for a second, and then I want to do have a little fun, and let's just do some random, create some headlines on the cuff.
So what I've got is one thing that I reference a lot is you can find if you Google search the 100 greatest headlines ever, you can find a listing, and this is put together. This has been available for years, and we'll post the link on the website. But this is an assembly of some of the greatest headlines over the past century used in copy, and some of them, if I read some of these, I think our readers will be pretty familiar with them. What's one that stands out to you without looking at this?
It'll be obviously who else wants to whatever. Can't remember the rest of it because it's been used so many times. They laughed.
Yep.
That'll be one.
Yeah, that one's one. How to win friends and
influence people. Definitely.
So I don't know what particular order as number one on this list. The secret of making people like you.
It sounds like a headline cover.
Yeah.
It definitely sounds like something you'd see on a magazine.
Yeah. Or
you could probably, we could use some of these and add 5 ways to make people like you.
Yep. Yeah, you could add that number. Would make that so much stronger.
And a lot of these are really old.
Yeah.
And
they go back. I mean, you look at this. The second one is one that I like, is a little mistake, because this makes me really intrigued. A little mistake that cost a farmer $3,000 a year. Well, I don't care if I'm not a farmer, so I'm not interested. But whatever industry, whether it's a mechanic,
how would you apply that? Let's say you were going to market to your industry, the composites industry. How would you change that to make it work for your industry?
Well, I would add some zeros to that number for starters.
Yeah. So a little mistake that cost a CEO or a manufacturing CEO.
Yeah. $300,000. Something like that.
Yeah.
It definitely gets people's attention.
Right.
Because
I would probably even change the word little to tiny.
Yeah. Yep.
Just to punch up the word a little bit.
Yeah.
Because some of these are old, so you have to remember that markets have gotten more sophisticated, more skeptical. So sometimes it takes a little more languaging to get them to pay attention. So a tiny mistake that cost a manufacturing CEO $300,000 a year.
Absolutely.
That's going to get somebody's attention.
In a heartbeat. Yeah, because everybody's wondering, okay,
What is the mistake?
What is the mistake, and are we making that
exactly?
mistake?
And that's the
costing
whole.
us?
That's the magic of that headline.
Yeah.
You don't know if you're making the mistake,
right.
so you have to read it.
And that's what's so great about these. I mean, this is a reference. You can go and kind of insert, insert industry, tailor it to yours. But this really does gets the ideas flowing for what you want to do or how you want to tailor that. Let's see. Let's pull some up here. Obviously, how to win friends, influence people. How a new discovery made a plain girl beautiful. Could be better. That doesn't. So is it like?
And that's a really old one.
Dated,
I know that one's from like the 40s or something like that. That may even be like a 20s from the Claude Hopkins era. So what was it again? How a new discovery made a plain girl beautiful.
Yeah.
So how a new discovery made. So you're just looking for it's juxtaposition, right?
Right.
So if we used like kind of the find the calm in the chaos, like how a new discovery allowed stay-at-home mom to find calm in the chaos.
Right.
Right now we talk about meditation as a product or something, or a meditation app or something. That could be a whole ad and series in itself.
Let's see. Discover the fortune that lies hidden in your salary. I mean, that's intriguing.
Yeah, I'd want to clarify that a little bit.
Yep.
It's a little confusing.
Yeah.
It's probably a language, just how language has changed over the last 10, 20, 30, 50 years. But yeah, there's definitely, obviously, the thing about these headlines is there's something there. And there's something about the human nature aspect of it that worked, even if the languaging is off today.
Right.
And what too many people do is they try to copy it almost word for word,
Yeah.
and they only change like one word,
Right.
and it reads weird because it's not with today's vocabulary.
Right.
So you've got to look at the overall intent first, change out the words, and then once you've changed out kind of the keywords for your industry or your offer, then you still got to go in and kind of massage today's language into it.
Okay.
But you don't want to get too far away from it.
Right.
But if it still feels a little weird or old, then you just need to update the language to today's words.
So
what do you think about the Saison, by the way?
It's good. I like it.
Like the first few sips, especially after the porter, are a little shocking, but I think...
No, I actually enjoy it, despite its light color.
Yeah.
It's very good.
Yeah. No, I think it's a very crisp...
It's not too sour.
No.
It has that look that makes you kind of like that beer he was drinking when he said, it was a little sour. That's
not for
like,
you.
Yeah, I avoid those like the plague.
And we had to put sweet syrup in it, so...
Right. Yeah. But this looks like it could be, but it's not. So I like it. So here's one with a number example that we just mentioned. 76 reasons why it would have paid you to answer our ad a few months ago. He used the number, but
so that's kind of a fear of missing out.
Right.
What did I miss? 76 reasons feels like a lot of work.
Yeah. And why it would paid you, I don't know that...
why it would have paid you. Like, it almost feels like it's old news.
Right.
Like, I don't know if that would work today because people are kind of on to the next thing all the time.
Absolutely. I was thinking the same thing. We got this obviously was before the internet. So,
right.
So it's like, what do you mean? Just tell me what it is and I'll Google it and see, find out what I missed.
Yeah, so that's one that I don't know how I would fix that for today's market. Yeah. That feels a little... But the fact that there was a number...
Right.
That's good proof. And I think numbers are used a lot more now. There's not that many in this set.
No, I noticed that.
That have numbers.
Nope. No, it's... So we'll post this list. We're not going to go through everything. But we talked earlier. We kind of teased it. So we're going to play a little industry association game.
Yeah, so... You get
Sean. First, we're going to give him some more beer. That's what's going to be fun about this. We're going to give him more beer, and then we're going to throw random industries at you.
Yeah, and we'll do this. Like, I'm going to number these magazines.
Okay.
So 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Okay.
So you just give me a number and an industry.
Okay.
And I have to pull a headline
from one of those
from that magazine.
Okay.
So if it's number one, I gotta use at least one of the things that are on here.
Okay.
With your industry.
Okay. All right. With the industry that I choose.
I'm glad we can edit this, but yes, go for it.
Okay. So here we go. This will be fun.
All right.
All right. Let's go number 3.
All right.
And golf.
3. Oh, okay. Should have known you were going to come up with golf. So this is Sunset Magazine.
Yep.
Was the one that you picked. Golf. So 59 ways to escape, indulge, and unwind. Ultimate spring gardening guide. Best spas in the West. Kitchen and bath makeovers. 15 healthy new recipes. So if I use one of those, I would probably do 15. So I'm going to use the format, not exact words, but I could do Ultimate Spring Gardening Guide. So I could do Ultimate Spring Golfing Guide.
Yep.
I could do Ultimate Spring, or I could do Ultimate Irons Guide, or Ultimate Guide to new 2019 irons, or something like that.
That would work to the latest irons. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's intriguing to me for sure.
Or drivers, because I know you.
Oh yeah.
I'll
give you an update on that too, because I kept I kept my GX7.
15 healthy new recipes. So 15 easy, or 15 healthy something exercises, like golfing exercises, or back exercises.
Core, I could say core exercises.
Core or back or something like that would be one.
Yep.
59 ways to reduce your score, lower greens fees, and travel the world.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. Yeah, that's way too many things, but what can I say?
Lower greens fees, I don't think that's happening, but yeah, lower my score, I'll jump on board with that. I'll read all 59.
59 ways to lower your score, relax, and enjoy the game.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Yeah, I like it.
All right, so
let's do another.
Okay.
Have a sip first.
Okay. I can take a big sip.
So let's go. Okay, that was 3. Let's go. Some I want to do some random industry. This is going to be interesting. Let's go. We'll go number 1 in the spa industry.
That's going to be too easy with number 1, but we'll try it. It's kind of
dang it!
It's kind of the same. So it's mindful.
Yep,
was number 1. So that's probably too easy. So pick another one.
All right, let's do.
It's Find Calm in the Chaos would be like super easy.
Yeah.
We'll do men's journal.
All right, men's journal. Okay, so that's number.
And we can do that with spa.
No. I'm going to change it up on you because I want to catch you off guard. All right, let's go. Let's go. I'm trying to think. Okay, I got boating industry.
Okay, boating. Okay, with number 2 here. So the men's journal cover. Let's see. Refresh your look for spring. You said boating.
Yep. Boater's World. I can see it now.
Boater's World magazine. Refresh your. That one's tough. Refresh your. That one's hard. So Ultimate Workout Fuel's another one. Ultimate, I don't know what boating world is. That like motorcraft boats, or is that yachts, or is that?
It's mostly Boater's World is mostly bigger boats.
Boats.
Yeah, yachts.
Okay.
Not so much like not fishing boats or anything like that, or even ski boats.
So 23 ways to make your boat appealing to guests. 23 ways to enjoy the open seas. on your new boat.
Yeah. I could see that. 23 ways to enjoy.
Yeah, 23 ways to enjoy the open ocean. Let's see, ultimate workout fuel. Trying to think, what do you do on a boat? You entertain a lot on a boat.
Yeah,
You
bigger
escape.
boats, you're entertaining, you're taking people out.
Yeah.
You're taking clients out, making more money.
Yeah. Ultimate. I had something there for a second. It went away that quick. Ultimate.
23
like,
ways
wow
to make money off your clients with your boat.
Ultimate wow factor
Yeah.
for your boat.
That's. I think that people that subscribe to that magazine are probably, they're upper end in the in income, and they're looking. It's all about lifestyle and impressing the next guy with their boat. So.
Yeah, so I might put Richard Branson on the cover.
There you go.
Put Richard Branson.
Yep.
Founder of Virgin and Life on the Seas.
Right.
Something like that, you know. So,
kicking back on his what is it? What's one of the yacht manufacturers?
I have no idea.
I'm trying to think of the one
way outside my. I can't even afford a wakeboard boat.
Yeah, I was thinking Christensen Yachts. That's the one Tiger owns.
Yeah,
he's got like 40 people on his crew, just manning that boat.
But it is crazy. I have a friend that used to be he was on staff for a boat, and he was telling me just the cost of
it's amazing
just to keep it docked.
Yep.
I mean, you take it out, it's a whole nother issue. But it's worse than a jet.
Yeah.
Like a jet, you have to have 2 pilots. You have to have, maintenance,
so much maintenance
and everything else. But a boat's even worse because it takes an entire crew to run a boat. So
it's
crazy.
like I had years back when I was selling to one of my biggest clients when I was in composites selling was Sea Ray Boats, and one of the executives there told me, I was in a meeting. He goes, the best day for me is when I bought a boat, and the second best day is when I sold it.
Yep. There's a Matthew McConaughey movie where he's a boat broker or something,
right?
And he talks about that.
Yep.
And he's talking to this little kid, and the kid's like, I'd love to own a boat, and he's like, no, you love the idea of owning a boat. You don't actually love owning a boat.
You don't love owning it. No way.
Actually, it was Failure to Launch, I think was the name of the movie.
Yeah.
With Sarah Jessica Parker.
There's
our movie reference for the day.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna turn the tables and put one on you. So one of your 100 there. I'm gonna pick a number, and then I'm gonna pick an industry.
Okay. Cool.
Okay.
Man, this will be fun.
77 pool cleaner.
77 pool cleaner. All right. So 77 pool cleaner. To people who want to write but can't get started. Great. All right. So pool cleaner.
So it can be either to the pool cleaner or it can be a pool cleaner advertising his business. Either one.
Okay. All right. So to people who want to start a successful pool cleaning business but don't know where to start.
That was easy.
Yeah. So there you go. That was.
Or you could say, if you wanted to use him as you could do to people who want a clean pool but don't have time to clean.
Yeah, that's true. You can go from both ends, from the guy that owns the pool to the pool cleaning business.
So that was easy.
Yeah. Yeah. So you want to do another?
Let's do 84.
All right.
And we'll do dog groomer.
Oh, man. Yeah. Okay, who else wants lighter cake and half the mixing time? You said dog groomer, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so...
I think I'm helping you because I'm giving you a very specific person.
Who else wants fluffy dog mane in half the time? I don't know. I'm not a dog groomer, so... Who else wants flealess, fluffy dog mane?
I'm going for the alliteration there,
Yeah,
right?
there you go. Flealess, fluffy dog mane with in half the time. There you go.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
It's like, yeah. I mean, even the flealess, like, even though it's an alliteration, it's like, just using the word flealess, no one likes that.
I mean, I think the point here is that we're trying to make is like,
Right.
you can take these things, like, you don't have to figure this stuff all out on your own. And it doesn't come from just like pure creativity. No. It comes from borrowing on stuff that's worked in the past,
Absolutely.
putting your stuff in, and then massaging a little bit until you get it right. Yep. I was working on a banner ad the other day. We're doing Google display ads. Mm-hmm. So you don't have much room to work. You know, it's very much a magazine kind of headline. And so I was working with it, and you know, it took me 20 minutes to write basically 10 words because I kept kind of changing and massaging.
Oh, wow.
I'd read it, and I'm like, it's not quite right. There's something, that word's not right. I would look in the thesaurus, find a different word, and just kind of play with it until it was right both visually and phonetically. So when I read it in my mind or I read it out loud, it sounded good, felt good, and all those things. So it's not just as simple as just like replace what you've got.
Do you like test it on others? I mean, when you
if there's somebody around, I will. Yeah. If not, then it's just then you throw it out to the public and see what happens. So that's what the ad guy does. He'll put it out to 30 different audiences on Google, and
so
we'll
to
rotate through like 6 banners and see which one catches.
So I pulled up, and I've used this for years in writing email headlines. But you can find it, and I'll post a link to it. It's the Advanced Marketing Institute. You can find it at aminstitute.com, but it's a free headline analysis. Like I said, I would always, whenever I'd write a headline for an email, I would like just copy and paste this in here and just see what the score is. I don't know if you've ever used anything like this, but it's actually pretty interesting because I punched in, so it will take your headline it will take your headline and analyze it in terms of what is it. Is it more intellectual? Are you more empathetic, or from a spiritual standpoint? What your headline is geared towards. So I actually just randomly copied one of the headlines from that list that we just went through, the 100 greatest headlines. The secret, number 1 was the secret to making people like you.
Okay.
So when I submitted that, it said immediately intellectual. So the EMV score, which is the emotional value score, was like 42. So it's not really high, but it's like telling you the headline carries words that predominantly appeal to most people's intellectual sphere. So it literally tells you,
And if you think about, and I think that's one of the challenges with those old headlines, is that they definitely skewed more intellectual.
Right.
And today's much more emotional and definitely much more spiritual.
Right.
So if we were going to up that, the secret of making people fall in love with you, if you were to replace that, what would it do? Like if you were to say the secret of making people fall in love with you.
It's making people
fall in love with you.
Well, let's see.
Real time.
Still
intellectual. That's interesting.
And this is not 100% accurate. So, I mean, it's kind of a... So the criteria they give on here is for intellectual words that are especially effective when offering products or services.
Empathetic is for...
Words which resonate with empathetic impact often bring out profound or strong positive emotions. So you would think, changing that would be more empathetic. But like I said, this is just it's a software tool online that you can use. It does give you a score, and I used it a number of times in the past for subject headlines. But you got to take things like this for what it's worth. The best feedback you get is not from a software program, but from
just putting it out there.
The buyers, the people that are spending the money. So
and one market may react totally different than another. One audience maybe react totally different than another. So, if That's why I think it's important if you're advertising on Facebook or Instagram or Google, that or direct mail or whatever it is, that you test the same headline to different crowds. You make, Dan Kennedy talks all the time about he'll write, his copy will be 90%, 95% the same, but it'll change one or two words for different markets. And like, for instance, we were talking about this Mindful magazine, and we were kind of debating the word cultivate. And for some markets, cultivate's going to be the right word, and some it's going to be kind of soft and not strong enough. Yeah. So,
do you still get his newsletter? By the way,
I do not. I did. So I did get that though.
So
I see what you're pulling out. Like, I got that and I saved it because it was good.
I saved it too because it was good. So it's like a missing.
It's a reactivation letter.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's got the. It really captures your attention, and even I wish I had brought the envelope because I didn't.
He's really big on the whole GKIC world. Is really big on themes.
Yeah,
and a lot of people say, "Well, I wouldn't do that for my business. It's cheesy. Right. It's over the top."
Yeah,
and
it works.
It works.
It worked for me because I certainly saved it. And the theme of this one is that you've been missing for a while. You've been off our list. Obviously, I let things kind of fall by the wayside because
there's some really good offers on there. Like on the back page, the reason I actually saved it, there's an offer on the back page of that, and I still remember it. Can I see it real quick? Yeah. So, like, on the back...
he gives you a ton of value on the back.
Like, it says, if you return at the gold member level...
You get the 6...
You get
the last...
$3,475 worth of gifts.
Right.
And you can choose from a couple options. But this page right here on the back... The offers that they laid out is worth saving for us.
Absolutely.
I mean, that alone was worth saving because the offer can make the difference.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people will order or buy something for the bonuses more than they will the actual thing, if the bonuses are good.
Right. Yeah, and when you look at, like you said, the value, he puts values. That's what I like about it. $3,475 in free gifts. Where's he come up with that value number?
I usually, pull it out of the air.
So, free info products. Past newsletters over the last 6 months that you may have missed and things like that. So they're going back and they're basically telling you, listen, if you come back to us, we're going to give you a ton of value, plus all the stuff that you feel like you may have missed since you've been off the list.
Yeah.
It definitely caught my attention. Not to mention, some of the articles or some of the content in here, which tells you things are changing a little bit different, which is kind of the reason why, I don't know about you, but the reason why I got off the list in the first place is like less Dan Kennedy,
Right.
So, and
there's a whole lesson there.
Yeah.
And that's probably a topic for a whole other show. In fact, we could probably pick that up in the next episode.
Absolutely. All right. Well, I think we've covered a lot of ground.
Yeah. So absolutely.
Well, guys, thanks for listening. As always, you can find us over at Persuasion by the Pint. Do a quick search on all of your podcast platforms. PersuasionByThePint.com. And thanks for listening. We'll catch you next time.
See ya.
All right.
You finished that one pretty fast.
Oh, yeah.